Hello, everybody. Super good morning to everyone. How's everybody doing on a wonderful Sunday today? Yay! Woo! Okay. Right. So, hey, good morning, Emmanuel. Good morning, Pekpoy. How you guys are doing? We're very happy that you all can join me. So early in the morning today. Yes. Right. So it's a Sunday. A lot of people may be in a rest mode today. Right, so yep, today we're gonna go into a bit of a feng shui topic, to cover back up all the information about period 9 that we have done last time, right? So all went missing already. So right now we're rebuilding everything. So we're gonna talk about the wealth star of the next 20 years. Yes, the wealth star of the next 20 years has been changed for those of you who do not know, right? So we've been listening to the same song for a very long time already. So right now it's changing to a new era, right? So a new guy has been sitting in the chair of the wealth star, right? So today is for you to understand this particular shift of the wealth energy. Right, so hello Jocelyn. Right, so shift of the wealth energy, and to of course you yourself is to prepare yourself and also to shift yourself as well mentally, emotionally, whatever they want to shift into the new wealth mindset, right? So then you'll be able to learn how to earn a good living in this particular new period. Hello, Toa, how are you doing? Right, so super good morning. Right, so let me switch myself down to the tiny version. This is called the tiny version of me, so that the slide space is a little bit more bigger, right? So, all right, so hello, Era Delphina, how are you doing? Good morning, right? Morning jog, are you doing good for you? Right, so that's very healthy, right? So now everybody, every morning should go out for a walk at least. 30-minute walk in the morning is actually very very good to up your body level, right? So but anyway, right? So you want to get in contact with me? Right now there's two channel that I'm active in. Telegram. Telegram is where you download stuff, right? You want to download stuff, notes. You want to ask question. This is where I give announcement, and everything is basically inside the Telegram. So you can join the Telegram community to gain some insight. And if you are still old school, you like to read, there is a newsletter that I run. Right, so newsletter mean that whatever I publish inside will be emailed directly to you. Once you subscribe into the newsletter itself, right? So it have information about forecast. So the monthly forecast, the annual forecast, all I'll basically be dumping into the newsletter. And also activation. If there's any activation date that I would like to publish, I'll publish it inside the newsletter. And if I go for any excursion, I want to do some sharing on the excursion, this will be the place that I'll be writing up all the excursion. So you want to do some reading, and you can join. So the Substack, there's actually two particular group of people. One is called the free subscriber, so you get all the free content. Then there are those who want to support me monetary, right? So now you can join the what we call the paid subscriber site. So the paid subscriber site right now is publishing the home buyers feng shui selection guide for them, right? So it's a roughly about a 40 article series that I've written. Right? So it's basically all inside there. So if you want to become the paid subscriber, then you'll be able to read all this paid content. The last seasons I published a 60 pillar what we call information, right? So if you want the 60 pillar information, go into the paid subscriber. Hello Steven, how are you doing? Right, so that's for community that you want to join. So of course there is also the fan page in Facebook if you want to join, right? So if you don't know what's the fan page in Facebook, you just PM, just put a notes comments into the chat screen. Then later I will find the things, and I'll add it in here since there's another one more empty box here, right? Right, come, let's go and take a look at it, right? So now the wealth star, right? So now if you're studying feng shui, right? You're studying feng shui, I think right now it's very common for you to have the perception or the information that the star number 8 is called the wealth star, right? So in actual sense, there is 3 versions of wealth star in feng shui, right? So all 3 of them are the earth wealth star, right? So the earth are all called the wealth star. So for the past 60 years, right, for the past 60 years, we have been assigned the star number 8 as the wealth star. So this has been a very very long period of time, right? So by the way, each of the wealth star will sit as timely as the Lord of the Well Star for 60 years. Right? Everyone knows 60 years. Right? So 180 years is one cycle. Every single period is 20 years. So we got 9 period of 20 years going on is 180. So every 3 of the period have one well star, which is the what we call the default well star. So right now the star number 8, which is the well star for the last 60 years, is getting less and less energetic, right? So which means that the characteristic of the star number 8 is gonna start to turn, right? So now you are studying feng shui, the flying star system, right? So it's flying star system only, right? If you're studying feng shui, you're using a different system, right? The different system, people don't care about your flying star one, right? So don't go and try to tell flying star to a person who's using a different system. It doesn't really work. Okay, right? So it's just strictly if you're using the flying star system, right? So you should start to know characteristic of each of the flying star number, right? So which is actually the what we call uh, uh, a combination of characteristic that is inside. Like for example, the star number 8, it is actually the right assistance star. That's the correct terminology for it. But of course, it is a bit of a mouthful every single time you want to talk about right assistance star. So we give it a nickname, give it a number, which is called number 8. Right? So it's basically the number that is given. So you have to remember the characteristic of number 8. So all the stars has a slider, spectrum of characteristics from negative to positive, right? So every single star has its negative effect, also have its positive effect. So the negative and positive effect is actually depending on timeliness of the star, right? So the timeliness of the star determine the negative positivity. The more timely the star, the more it display its positive side. The more out of time it is, the more it is displaying the negative side of it, right? So that is basically how the flying star system works. So that's why every single star has this day. So that's where the term 风水轮流转. 风水轮流转 mean that in feng shui, everything has this cycle, right? So right now the cycle of the star number 8 is actually going downward already, right? So that's why if you still use the method of the star number 8 to try to make money, you will find it to be more and more difficult. It become more and more ineffective in doing it. So the star number 8 is like a mountain, right? So you want to have an imagination. It's like a mountain. So you can imagine the money making activity as mining. So mining is like this. Mining is actually a process of discovery. The valuable thing is already inside the mountain. It's already inside the mine. You just have to be hardworking. You just have to be diligent. You just have to be productive. So which means that you have to be continuously putting time into it. Hardworking, right? Continue putting time into it. Eventually, you will find the valuable thing, right? So it's just basic understanding is that the valuable thing is already buried inside. It's somewhere inside the mountain. You know that there are, gold ingot inside. You know that there are metal all inside the mountain, right? So you just have to be very diligent every single day. Go and mine. Ding, 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 ding. Mine. One day you will basically find your success, right? It's either you being discovered or you discover something that is unique, right? So the energy signature is like a staircase, right? So a staircase means that when you are hardworking that time, it usually hardworking don't have any result yet. So the energy is like this. Suddenly you discover a gold ingot, then your wealth go up, lor. Then you hardworking. Then suddenly you discover whatever, and then it goes up. It's that sort of energy signature. So the energy signature is rather stable. So usually is as long as you're willing to be hardworking, you will eventually be discovered. You will eventually, that, right. So now you can see those are what we call the positive story. The negative story is that the flat line can be very, very long, very, very flat. So which means that your hardworking can be a very, very long things, right? So then that one is called basically called stubborn. No? You may be mining in a mountain whereby it does not have the material that you want, right? The mountain confirm got riches inside, but let's say that example, you are specifically looking for gold, but this mountain only got silver, right? So a lot of people sometimes they cannot see beyond their wisdom. That is human. Human cannot see beyond their wisdom. So that's why, a lot of time I tell people that, everyone have a framework. Framework is basically holding on to whatever you know, whether it's derived from you, derived from your parent, derived from the society, right? Everybody have a framework. So you are always limited by your framework, right? So if you do not know how to expand your framework, change your framework, morph your framework, you are always trapped there, right? So this one, the unsavory example is that it is next to impossible to convince a fly that shit is bad. So if you apply your world, shit is good. Okay, right? So that's basically the way that you want to see star number 8, right? So that's why you see that in the older period, right? So period 6, period 7, period 8, this is where star number 8 is timely. As long as you are hardworking, you'll be discovered one. As long as you are hardworking, you'll be discovered. So right now, when you go into period 9 already, the star number 8 is no longer in timeliness. So it will slowly fall off the grid. So if you continue to still have the mindset of star number 8 type of wealth, you are only going for the hardworking. People will discover me. One day I will make it. So sorry lah. You will just be a worker without any success. Right? So you just be hardworking. You just be hardworking. Digging the dirt. Right? In mining industry, right? I found out that after entering period 9, there's a lot of changes and challenges. Yeah lah. Right? So a lot of way to do it, right? So now, like last time, like one of the bigger changes is last time a lot of the mineral need to be discovered. Right now, they can make the mineral. You notice or not? Diamond can be made right now. China can actually make diamond. They can manufacture diamond, and when they manufacture the diamond, it is no different than the normal diamond. One of the biggest difference from the normal diamond that it is flawless. Right. Last time they tried to find flawless diamond. Right now, when they are looking at diamond, they want diamond with flaw. Because why? They know flawless diamond could be a manufactured diamond. And if you use any detector to, detector type to basically detect the diamond, right, it will be shown as real diamond. That's how good China manufacturing is. Right. So a lot of things that you see, right, they can right now manufacture right now. So last time you have to rare meat, right? Meat the cow, you have to rare the cow to get the meat, right? So they can right now do manufactured meat. Yeah, lab grown meat. Right. Can you see that there's a bit of a challenge here, It's like, if you still the idea that if you still stick on to the olden day way of thinking. So the main thing you want to understand is that the different well star, they actually have different characteristics. That's it. So if you are able to capture and understand the characteristic and you are acting in accordingly, then you'll be able to command wealth. Right. So now another one of the well star, now this one is star number 5. Star number 5 is also a well star, is also a star. Right. So this one, imagination is like a volcano. So a lot of time tell people like volcano. Now volcano is like this. If the place is barren, got nothing, then boom, suddenly you have a luscious piece of land, lush piece of land, that can grow a lot of things. So that's why a lot of civilization, they like to build their civilization around volcano. Right? Because why? The soil is just very, very lush. You do your plantation there, a lot of things can grow very strongly, right? So that's really, and at the same time, the volcano is also have absolute destruction power, right? So you have a place the volcano explode, everything is basically in desolation. So the well signature for the star number 5 is actually you either go up or you go down, right? So this one, very, very normal one is basically warring, warring with people, So you either gain the land that you are attacking, or you're gonna lose your land when it's being attacked. So it's a very scary type of signature of energy. So the star number 5 is very far away from being auspicious or being timely. So the star number 5 will only start being timely in period 3. So we are just in the beginning of period 9. So which means that the star number 5 will not be showing any of its positive characteristics until period 3 hits. Right? So each and every one of them has their timing. So like star number 8 is period 6, period 7, period 8. It is the time whereby the star number 8 become prominent, it become timely. So for star number 5, it's period 3, period 4, period 5. So of course now this one left with the one more star, which is the star number 2, right? So which is the current well star, by the way. right? So it's a caramel star. So if you don't know how to make the switch, that's where you will be left out on a lot of wealth making opportunity, because just that the nature of wealth has changed. So if you are still thinking of, hardworking, I will be successful. Sorry, the star number 8, you hardworking, you will just only be tired. There's not gonna be much success in terms of you are just relying on hardworking. Do you still need to be hardworking? Yes, you still need to be hardworking. So the star number 5 is basically the risk taking characteristic. Star number 8 is hardworking. Now star number 5 is risk taking. So which means that when you enter into period number 3, the risk taker type of person, right? So the one that that's daring to go and bet double or none, right? Those type of people will start to gain wealth very very fast, right? So it's star number 8 is those type of people who are very hardworking is gonna go very very fast. So star number 2, right? So understanding a little bit about star number 2, right? So the star number 2 is basically like the farmland type of energy, right? So now you need to understand what farmland is. Now star number 2 is associated with farmland. It is associated with your mother. Yes, right. So is it associated with an army training camp? It's basically a clear field. Right? Star number 2 is a clear field. So you need to start to understand characteristic of the energy signature, right? So don't try to find a definition for star number 2. So a lot of time when you are having a English brain, your English brain force you to get a definition, force you to get an answer, right? So but in Chinese metaphysics, it doesn't work that way. It run through what we call associative thinking. So you need to be able to associate the thing with a lot of scenarios. So when we're talking about farming, when we're talking about farming, the entire process of farming is like this. You put a seed into the ground, nothing's happened, right? Nothing happened, right? Then you have to tend, nurture, culture, protect the particular seed, right? So the ground itself already done its protection to hide the seed from the bird, from any animal that try to eat the seed. The ground, star number 2, is hiding the thing inside already. Then slowly it will grow. Slowly it get nurtured. Slowly it will become big. As become big, you also do the management of the place, weeding, uh, uh, putting water onto it, right? So putting what we call fertilizer onto it, right? So you guard the tree, then the tree slowly grow. It will slowly grow. So then one day it will become a full grown tree. Then it will start to fruits. Now the way that you see this, right, is that your effort that you put in initially, when it reach the stage whereby it is a full grown tree. So do you see that you do not need to take care of the tree like last time? So which means effort is big in the beginning, effort is less in the end. Return is none in the beginning, but a lot in the end. So once a tree has grown into a big tree already, it will continuously give you apple in perpetuity, right? The tree won't die, then it will always produce apple. Every generation you will produce apple. Basically the tree will outgrow your lifespan, right? That's the entire idea. The tree will outgrow a lifespan. So if you take a look at it, in terms of a mother, it's the same process a mother, right? So you have a small little tiny peanut baby inside the stomach. The mother will nurture, nourish, and protect the baby, right? Until the baby is born, you will continue to raise the baby, blah blah blah. But one day the baby will become a adult, right? When the baby become the adult, the baby right now will take the role of the protector and provider to you until you pass on. That's the entire idea, right? So that's the entire idea of you taking care of that fella, and then the fella come back take care of you, right? So in the olden days, that the child will take over the family farm, right? In the olden day, the game is very easy to play only one. Olden day human game, very easy to play. I have a farm, I have a fishing boat, I have a carpentry business, so I have a way to sustain my life. And I know that I'm gonna one day grow old and I can't work on this anymore. So my game plan is to create a mini me, right? A mini me, to educate this mini me and give the skill set to the mini me to take over the family trade, family business, and continue to produce for the family. That's the entire idea. So that's why there is a big rush in the olden day to get married, have children. So no, it's very logical. If let's say you're 25, 30, you don't have a children, right? By the time you are 50 years old, you won't have 25 30 years old children to take over the business. If you cannot take over the business, then finish. You're not gonna have any food, right? So that's mother. The what we call military camp is the same. You see, in the military camp, the job is to produce competent fighter to defend your land. So anybody you throw into the military camp initially is useless, doesn't know how to fight. Then the fella will go through training. So slowly being nurtured, being cultured, being raised, right, being trained, right? So in the end, they will become competent fighters. So when they are competent fighter, at that time they can defend the land for a very long time. So there is always this energy of perpetuity in the back. So this one a lot has to do with, let's say, another activity which is similar to this is called investment. Right? So investment, initially your capital is small, so you put in your investment, put until you reach a stage whereby your capital, reach a what we call a critical mass, right? So then the interest for the particular investment become self-perpetuating. Right? So like for example, in Malaysia, we always have this thing called the $1 million EPF game that you can play. Right? So $1 million EPF game is like this. If you have $1 million in the EPF account, so the EPF account gives an annual 5 to 6% return. So you just take 5% very conservative. So 5% of a $1 million is 50,000 a year. 50,000 a year is pretty good lifestyle. Now, given that a average worker in Malaysia average household income is 4,000 only. So which means if you got a 5,000 buck capital inside EPF, you are enjoying an above average income already, right? What is IPR? Top 3, you need to tell me what is IPR. I'm not familiar with the short form IPR. Right, so right, so you can take a look at that particular things. Right, intellectual property. Intellectual property is more depend. Intellectual property actually depend. Star number 2 is actually more creating legacy, right? In creating legacy. So now you see, when we talk about books and patience, books, it doesn't last very long. In what we call the grand scheme of things, right? Book actually expire. Books are more fire based things. Books, the job of the books is actually to enlighten you, right? So this one is to create lasting legacy. So which means that if you want to make money in period 9, you need to learn a few skill set in terms of legacy creation. So hardworking is not going to work anymore. So basic thing you need to understand that the hardworking. So you have been singing a certain song for a very long time. By the way, the patent thingy is a very big lie that people has been telling you. Patent no use one. Okay, patent basically is completely useless. All right, so that's the part of it you need to so right. So now patent is again so just tell you now patent is very easy to break. Whatever you lodge inside as a patent, if I know what is the patent, as long as I'm not doing anything that is inside the patent, mean that you cannot do anything to it. Right, so like for example, I have this logo which is red color. Let's say that your patent is really putting their logo which is red color. I can use the exact same logo in blue and you cannot touch me. Understand that, right? So patent is basically like this. All these lawyer thingy, they are not exactly star number 2. So lawyer thingy is more star number 5, star number 7 type of activity. All right, so now that's basically star number 2. So the important thing right now is for you to shift your mindset into the new era of how money is being made, right? So it's not going to be using the old method already. So those that stick to the old method is going to find that it is not working. Right, that's all. You're gonna find that it's not working, right? You see that, right? So now a lot of people still stick to things that is not working, right? So it's like how technology advancement, right? So we all advance from one era to another era. It's this one. I like to say that when the tractor was first introduced to the farming industry, right? So when tractor was first introduced to farming industry, a lot of people still believe that manual farming is the way to go. Tractor cannot. So it's like tractor is evil, right? So there's always like that. But today, if I tell you you're gonna run a farm without a tractor, right, you will kill me. You will say that I'm just stupid, right? So it's basically certain thing need a certain way to do. Farming got change or not? No, farming got no change, but the technology, the method that you use to do farming basically change. right? So the internet also is the same thing, right? So the internet is the same thing, right? So when internet was first introduced that time, right? So whatever that you are doing right now, so we were first introduced that time. A lot of people still want to stick to the old way, saying that this is evil, right? This is pure evil. You can't do this sort of stuff, right? So then today, if I remove internet from you, right, you would die instantly, instant, right? Instantly, you would feel like you are disconnected from the universe. This is like Matrix, the head jack get removed, right? It's like, oh, suddenly, right? So you want to feel that, just find one day when your house got no electricity, or just find one day when your house, the internet decide to get disconnected because some bloody hell monkey decide to do swing on your internet. That's what happened in my place, by the way. My place got throng of monkey. Sometimes they accidentally disconnected the internet line. Yes, they do that. Okay, right. So you just try that and see your life instantly shut down. Okay, right. So for the same activity, like right now, not right now, AI start coming in. AI basically start coming in right now. A lot of people complaining, AI is gonna take over our job, blah 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 blah. Okay, right. So that's basically but if you start using AI, so you start using AI, you find to see that the fella is quite good. Right. So John, may I ask how come some masters say is still need to wait bit before timely in this period? So because it's just starting, later I give you the storyline of changing, right? So later it gives storyline. Like right now, AI just started, right? AI just started, sure got problem one, but you already know AI is going to be the thing that is going to be replacing a lot of things. Yeah, right. So do you want to do all the repetitive thing that AI can do? You don't want, right? Once you are able to use AI in its full potential right now to create stuff, and last time it required, like for example, graphic creation. So if you ask an interior designer, last time I asked an interior designer to create a designer, one design might take a week to create. So do you know with AI assisted creation, they can give you 7 different designs in like probably 3 hours. They can render 7 different designs for you within 3 hours. So tell me, if you are somebody who is doing this, would you want to spend 1 week on one design, or do you think you're gonna use 3 hours to create a 7 design for your customer to choose? Right. So you have to think in that particular thing, is that just that the older way is not gonna work. It is not gonna change the interior designer landscape. Interior designers still need to do interior designer because they are idiot like me who have no interior designer sense one, right? So you need somebody who have that particular sense, but their work can be speed up. Right, so same thing here around. So now the way wealth is created is basically mainly on these 3 methods. One is called the hardworking discovery method, which is the star number 8. It has been working well for the past 60 years, right? So then there is the risk, the risk taking quantum leap type of wealth, which is star number 5, which is something that is very, very beyond right now because we are in a very peaceful period. So if you are in a warring state, right? So everything chaotic, everything is warring. Star number 5 is the way to make money. You cannot wait to be discovered. You cannot slowly. So right now we are going into the stage whereby a slow and steady, slowly build up, and in the end you enjoy the fruits for a long time type of thing, right? So now the question is, how efficient, how fast can you grow a tree? That's the one that you want to ask. So how efficient, how fast can you raise a child? How efficient, how fast can you train a soldier? That is the question that you need to ask yourself. So some activity that you need to start to take a look at, one is called building a community. In period 8, building a community is not important. In period 8, building yourself is very important. Because in period 8, one of the characteristic is being discovered by others. So if you build yourself correctly in period 8, right? So then when people discover you, you become valued. Right now is no building yourself, it's actually building others. It's for you to build a community, right? So this one is basically called farm management. How do you take care of the farm? Right? How do you do the weeding of the farm? How do you manage the particular farm? There's a lot of things, right? So no, building a community. So now you ask yourself, are you building a community? Are you doing activity that has to do with community building? Right? The entire idea of community right now become more important. right? So before this, you heard of the thing called atomic family, which means small, tiny family, with maybe one or two individual. So right now, the atomic family timing is off already. All the atomic family would right now want to find belonging. Yeah, right. So period nine, is a very emotional period. So one of the stronger emotion of any human being is sense of belonging, the community sense. It will be invoked. So that's why a lot of people, explain to spiritual journey. Right? Yeah, right. So spiritual journey will basically be directing you towards the entire idea of communal thinking for other people, seeing the future growth of the thing. So now ask yourself, are you doing community building? Yes. Do you have community building skill set? Are your mindset going to community? Right. So like this one, what we call slowly grow. Build community is a slow process. You need to slowly build a community. People need to understand you. But once the community has been built, this is where you can make money. When you sell anything into the community, there is already a inbuilt trust in the community. If the community will want to buy anything, you would be the person that they come to buy from. So can you see that this one small little community can already sustain you? Right. So now whether I don't know whether you got go through and learn this, right? So there is this thing called, right, you actually don't need a lot of customer. The entire world, there's about 8 billion people. We're going to 9. So 8 billion population going to 9. If you got 1,000 people in the 8 billion, 1,000 in the 8 billion, that is willing to support your cause. So they are part of your community. You just need 1,000 people in the 8 billion. 8 billion possible people that you can meet. You only need 1,000 people. And if you can build that, and every year, if this 1,000 people is willing to spend 1,000, don't care whether it's US dollar, ringgit, Malaysia, you actually have $1 million a year. Do you realize that? You just have to build that particular 1,000 people community. And today is very, very manageable 1,000 people, right? Through the use of all the social media engagement, all the community building, whatever it is, right? So are you able to give value to the community? Yeah, ask yourself that particular question. Okay, right? So do you have it? Right. So you see, this is not a complicated world. 8 billion people. I just need to keep 1,000 people happy. And this 1,000 people is willing to take 1,000 baht every year to support me. 1,000 baht every year is not a big number. Right. So for typical Malaysian, 1,000 baht a year, your phone bill is already more than that. Your internet connection. Internet connection fees is more than 1,000 baht a year already. And what does internet connection give you? Nothing. Right? It doesn't give you any support, it doesn't give you anything, right? So just imagine there is a community here that you are part of, right? So and then the community give you value. So there's this particular person who run the community, it give you a certain amount of value. And what he asked for is that, hey, just every year, just come over to my place and spend 1,000 baht. Can you see that you're okay in basically spending the 1,000 baht? It's nothing to the particular individual spending 1,000 baht in a good built community. The community is really good, you build it really well. Right. So you just basically go in, it's like the criteria is just, you just come in, you just spend 1,000 baht. Spend 1,000 baht mean that it can be a portfolio of a lot of things that you are buying, using, whatever it is, it's being offered inside the community. You created this particular economy, you're part of the economy. Right. So can you see, if you build this community, this particular income will be perpetuate forever one. As long as you are able to produce the thing. So which means that the apple will grow forever as long as you take care of the apple tree. This is how you make money in the next period. You need to be able to build a community. I know you're gonna have a lot of excuses, right? So you figure out all your excuses. Don't ask me to figure out your excuses. I'm just telling you that's the direction that it's gonna go. If your focus is still on, oh, me, myself, me, myself, somebody will discover that I'm a great person. Okay, you sit in your corner, you wait for yourself to be discovered. Right? So you need to build up the community right now. Okay, start building the community while it is still new. Right? So then the next thing is recognizing potential. What's the recognizing potential? Now this one in farming community is basically identifying that my piece of soil is good to build, is good to raise apple tree. If I raise lemon, no good. This is to understand this. When you talk about recognizing a person potential, it's recognizing the potential of your community itself. So you need to know what you can bring to the table, basically what you can bring to the table, and you enhances your ability to bring things to the table. Right? Your environment encourages people to bring things to the table, and you are able to see this particular person bring what to the table. So in farmland management is basically one identifying that my farmland is good in planting what sort of crops, and it also include in think what sort of crops is actually uh, what we call popular in the market right now, right? So you also need to understand that in this particular season, what sort of crops will grow, what sort of crops will not grow. So all this you need to know is basically under recognizing potential, right? So this is entire thing about nurturing. So now one industry would definitely be going on the upward swing on the next 60 years. It's basically human resource, human management. How you basically train human, manage human itself, right? So that's basically one area that will go up on the way, right? So if you have very strong human resource skill, it's one skill set that you should go and learn. If you want to still want to be an employee type of person, go and learn human resource. So it's AKA in the human resource studying world, it's called industrial relation, by the way. Yeah, industrial relation is where the human resource skill is actually being studied. Right? So you go and learn industrial relation. It will be a skill set that's highly sought after. How to deal with human, right? Because why? We know how to deal with AI, we know how to deal with computers. Now it's time to learn how to deal with you, right? So the community building, the particular site. So there's a lot of things to manage. Also, same thing, like if you translate this into the army camp, is basically to be able to identify that this particular person who just joined my community, joined my army camp, he is a swordsman. He's proficient in using sword, and this is a shield defender, right? So he's very good at doing shield. So that I know how to cater a specific training regime to the fella so that the fella can develop his archery skill. If let's say that this particular person has good eyes, right? So you identify that he have a good eye, right? So there's this potential which is in archery. So we will encourage and develop this particular person in the direction of archery. Yeah, you have to have this particular skill set into you, right? So the important one is recognize your skill sets first. The bottom line is this community, this table here, we are going to do a potluck. Who's going to bring what food? More importantly, what am I going to bring to the table? If you don't even know what you are going to bring to the table, very difficult for you to start a community. Because you want to start a community, the first thing is that you have to offer things out first. You have to give. You want to build a community, the first thing is you have to give. Right, you have to give to the community, right? So once you give to the community gathered already, then only you'll be able to ask what others can bring into the community, right? So what are the things that you need from others, right? So the ability for you to build a team, right? Ability for you to build a team to recognize that what are the strong point of this particular team, and you will be able to further develop the team's strong point, right? So require a lot of resources, right? So the next skill set that you need to have is basically now the word niche has been used a lot in especially in the uh, social media, the creation area, right? So they say that niche is basically shrinking down the thing that you're doing into a very specialized area. But in actual sense, I'm telling you, niching is only necessary if you lack of resource. If you have unlimited resource, you can do whatever you want to do. That's true, right? So, but when you have very limited resource, you need to niche. When we talk about niche, is that the same amount of resource, if I put here, if I put there, right, which one yield you a better result? That is niching, right? It's for you to consciously cut out activity and things that does not bring you a return. So, which means that even if you invest in it, it's not going to bring you a good return, right? So you want to manage this. So in farm management, this is very important, right? So niche management, right? So again, just now we said that we recognize potential, mean that what sort of tree are you supposed to plant? Is it apple tree? Is it lemon tree, it's whatever tree you want to supposed to run, right? So then you need to basically know that among the apple tree that I've planted, right, which are the one that have best potential, all are apple tree, right? So I recognize the talent of each and every different people at this current moment. Which of these require the most resources? Which one required to put in more water? Which one required to put in more fertilizer? Which one need to be debugged, catch all the worm? Which one is affected by the diseases? You need to isolate all these kind of things. You need to basically be under the niche management side of it. So you need to be able to manage the entire area it is, right? So same thing also, I know inside your what we call again your army camp, right? So there is a need for you to basically to manage all the available resources. So in army camp is even much more prevalent because a lot of time your soldier is too far away from your what we call your capital that is able to send resource to assist. So they need to manage whatever resource that they have in a way, right? So now, one of the thing is that who shall, if you have food, who shall eat the food? Right? It's a thing that is happening a long time ago, right? So long time ago, food are very scarce. Then who shall eat the biggest portion of the food, right? In a community inside, of course, it's the strongest fella who is able to go out and fight monster. You feed that fella first. The rest of the people, don't talk too much. Right? It's the same thing in the animal world. It's what we call the alpha. The alpha, which is the one that protect the pride, is the one that basically initiate the hunt, right? The one that have the most capability. That is the one who's gonna eat first. So on your niche, right? So you have to also ask yourself, on all the skill set, where are the skill set that required the most amount of resources? So in normal management, this is basically called budgeting, right? Survival of the fittest, yes, right? So Crimson Phoenix is one way of basically you look at it, but the entire idea is to manage the resource that you have, right? Manage the people that you have, right? So how can we use Star One in period 9? Later we talk about Star One. Later we talk about Star. Right. So now Star One is a style of connectivity, John. It's basically looking for resources that anybody have and bring it over into the. So can you see that the what we call community building, talent identification, then resource management. This is what is going to give you the champion tree. The champion tree is going to grow a lot of apple, and you'll be able to benefit from the apple growing. Right, so no, don't look at it in a cruel way. In the olden day, when human was having baby left, right, up and down. So it's like my father's generation. My father's got 14 brother and sister. My mom got 8 brother and sister. How do you think they raised 8 brother and sister and 14 brother and sister? It is true survival of the fittest, no joke. Right? So you pump your resource into the child that has the best potential of being able to take care of the family, take care of the clan. Whoever can take care of the business, you put your resource into that particular person. So that's why in the olden day, resources are never given to daughters. Right? Daughters can never take over the family business. That's a rule in the olden day, because daughter is meant to be married out. So that's why they never give resources to female in the olden day. So they say, not fair. I did not come up with the rule, but it's something that is very logical. You leave the most chunk of the resource to that particular individual that has the best chances of bringing your entire clan to the next level. So you have to do this. So for yourself, you need to basically ask, among all the skills that I have, all the things I'm doing, where should I place at least time lah? Okay, time. Right, at least time. Right, so time is definitely a resource that you have. The other day, I just what we call just have a conversation with my friend, and he brought up this very pertinent thing, right? So now, whether you recognize it or not, whether you agree or not, right? So now, time and money, right? You always have one. One of it is going to be more than the other. If you're gonna have a lot of money, you see that your time is going to be very little. If you got a lot of time, money is going to be very little. The relationship is always going to be like that. So now you need to ask yourself, if you got time, if you got money, right, where are you investing your time and money? right? So like for example, money you can take in. Now money you can buy other people time. One of the greatest utility of money is to buy other people, right? You can basically get other people to do work that you find it, not very beneficial. Then you use money to buy the time now. So this is where niche management is. You know that this particular activity is not an activity that's beneficial to me. It's not my talent. I buy the talent now. I use certain resources to barter for the talent. That's what the community is for, by the way, right? So you create the community is so that the bartering of skill set and talent can happen. So which means that in period 2, it is actually a lot is about sharing, right? So a lot about sharing, about working together, right? So now let's take a look, right? So to answer that particular question, right? So now the period 9, period 1, period 2, the star number 2 is the primary wealth star, right? That's how you do, right? So now period 9, you need to imagine it as a period of creating what we call a lush fertile land. So it's fire, fire create ash. Ash is basically the what we call the fertilizer, right? Ash is basically the fertilizer. So period 9 is going to be a period whereby fertilizer is actually being right. So yes, that's period 9. So period 1 you can imagine is the same place being put down on rain, right? So now you see for a tree to basically grow strong and healthy, you need the nutrients from the fertilizer. You also need the rainwater to basically grow. So period 1 is about connecting with people, right? So it's about the entire idea of creating a connection with people, knowing people, right? So period 9 is actually to discover your nutrient. I want to say discover your nutrient, right? So it's a very transformative period. So that's why you can see period 9, a lot of things transform. A lot of things transform mean that it get created today, tomorrow it will just disappear. Only those that is of real lasting value would continue, right? So then is spreading of this particular value to different places, right? So then is your star number 2, right? So then you will have a very lush, very strong, very good land that is able to grow and develop. So once you understand this, right, then you can start to do a lot of things, right? So right now is basically a discovery period in period 9, right? So period 9 is actually very unstable, and I just tell you first, right? So if you have enjoyed the stability of period 8, period 9 is going to be hell, right? If you're those type of people who enjoy the stability, period 9 has zero stability, right? So it's just really period 9, you just imagine a forest fire, right? Today the wind change this direction, it's going to burn that direction. Tomorrow the wind change this direction, burn this direction. You cannot put it out, right? So forest fire, if you just throw water into it, right, it's so intense, so hot that it will break the water particle into its essence of hydrogen and oxygen, and it will further encourage the burning. Scary, right? That's basically period 9, right? So nothing is stable in period 9, so forget about being stable in period 9, right? So period 9 is all about agility, right? So you need to be really very, very agile. Your mind need to be like super open, right? So it's like bright area. Bright area means that you see everything. So when everything is exposed, everything is seen, there is no place for you to hide. The entire idea of, I don't want to believe in this, there's no such thing, right? There's no such thing as I don't want to believe it. You will see the truth of things, things that you don't want to see, right? So all is there. So it's the entire idea of acceptance is going to be there. So if you're into spirituality, whatever brand it is, acceptance is one thing that they will teach you, right? There's one thing that they will go and teach you is basically is accept, right? Indeed, not easy to build long-term value with everyone, right? Caring only about fleeting value. Yes. All right, so this is basically your wealth on the new period, right? So the new period is basically I'm talking about the next 60 years, right? So the next 60 years is going to be like this. So if you concentrate on community building activities, community trainings, right? So training, so again, the entire idea is plant your apple tree, have your children, have a children that will eventually take over your family business. training a soldier, that has the right fighting skill set to defend your city and expand your, land, is that is the idea, right? That is basically the idea. So if you can do that, and then your wealth will grow. Then only your wealth will grow. So if you're still the olden way of thinking, me hardworking, I will be discovered, somebody will find my value. Sorry lah. Okay, right. So the idea of wealth is not gonna go good on you. All right, can right. So everybody, take care. Right. So we're happy to see you all joining me, particularly today. Right. So as usual, please send this out to your community. Right. So share this out to your community so that more people can be reached. Right. So if those of you who want to chit chat with me, right. So do what we call get in touch with me lah, right? So whether Telegram, Facebook Messenger, you can come and find me, or or YouTube here, just leave a comment. I will try and find a way to hunt you down. Okay, that's all, guys.